Hi, this is Callan Bentley with the M.A.G.I.C project at Northern Virginia Community College. I'd like to show you some GigaPans I shot. We're looking here at a GigaPan screenshot. Then I'm going to go ahead and up at the top here you'll see me switch to another tab. This is a different view of that same GigaPan where I have annotated the trace fossils shown on this big slab of Massanutten Sandstone. And here's another view where it's just the annotations without the photo. Now what I've done is with these three different GigaPans I've overlaid them. So here's the regular photo overlaid on the annotations, and then here's another one where you're looking through the regular photo to the annotated photo. Now let's explore each of these in a little bit of detail. Here with the first one, let's go ahead and make it full screen. So like every GigaPan, you've got the context of the larger outcrop, but then of course you can zoom in and you can see details. So like for instance, we can zoom in here on this little rectangle, and as we get closer you can see the details resolve, and that turns out to be a sense of scale, inches on the top, centimeters on the bottom. From that sense of scale, we can get a sense of what the size is of the stuff we're looking at. And as we move down into the lower right away from the scale, you can see that this surface of sandstone, this bed of sandstone, is covered with lots of little grooves. And these little grooves are trace fossils. So there was some sort of critter worming around in the sand back in the Silurian, and it left behind these little grooves. Now let's exit out of that full screen window and go to the second example here where I've taken the resulting GigaPan image and then I've gone through and I've traced out each of the trace fossils that I was able to see. So I used a blue ink, if you want to call it an ink, and covered them up. Here in this image you're basically looking at just the trace fossil traces, so my blue ink annotations, but without the photo. Alright, so you can zoom in just as well on that one. Now, the real powerful stuff here is where we lay one of these on top of the other. So here we've got the unannotated photo laid on top of the annotations. With this comparative viewer by 4Chamber Studio, we can look through one GigaPan into the other. And we can zoom in and the resolution increases the deeper we go. Check this out. As we slide this thing along, you basically are looking through the photo and looking at my cartoonish annotations. It's pretty powerful, I think. It's almost like sort of a fluorescent view of the Silurian seafloor where you're looking at where animals have been and where they haven't been. Another really cool feature of this comparative viewer is that we can change the transparency of the different GigaPans. So here I'm making the overlying photo more transparent and we can see through to the underlying annotations. I can then slide it all the way back to the left and it's completely opaque. Next up, let's take a look at the raw photo overlaid on the annotated photo. So if you don't want to lose the details of the photo when you're zooming in and looking at the annotations, you can compare these two different versions of the image. And you can see here basically it just sort of turns on the annotations where you're looking. You can again adjust the transparency here, so you can go from completely opaque photo to transparent. And you can also change the X-ray circle size. So here we go with making the circle smaller, making the circle bigger. I think you can see that this is a pretty powerful technique for showing an image in both a sort of raw, uninterpreted state and in an interpreted state, either by a professional or by a student. With scale and context, you can basically go and get this powerful new view into the seafloor. Thanks very much for your attention. This has been a Northern Virginia Community College production. I'm Callan Bentley. Thanks so much.